There are so many benefits to journaling every day. But honestly, who even has the time to make that a habit and then to make it stick? I've been there over and over. I've wanted to track my thoughts and to capture things for review later, but I find that handwriting and typing and sitting down and making the time and all of that to be way too much of a hassle. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my complete Notion journaling system, version 2.0, that uses zero writing whatsoever. There's no typing. There's no handwriting. Instead, you'll voice record your entries during your downtime. For me, that's during my commute. Yes, I journal during my commute. And then Notion's robust new AI agent feature takes over and helps transform all those random thoughts in your entries into searchable, actionable themes and patterns. This method is especially great if you've got a therapist, like I do, and you're concerned with keeping an eye on patterns in your physical health, in your mental health, or you want to be able to recall past events and details effortlessly. All right, I hope I've sold you on this. If you're ready to finally start journaling every day and to have that resource at your fingertips, it's time to get started. All right, so this video is going to be structured a little bit differently today. I'm not actually going to walk you through the step-by-step of building this database. You can download it for free by going to queerefficiency.com/journal. This database structure is very, very simple, so I don't think I'm going to need to really explain the step-by-step of it, but the method itself is what we're going to cover. So as I said in the intro, there are a few problems with journaling. For me, at least, I know that finding the time to actually stop what I'm doing, sit down either in front of a computer or in front of a notebook and take notes on what's going on in my brain, it's a nice idea, and I can find some enjoyment in doing that, especially handwriting, but I find that it is not a sustainable practice whatsoever. I just can't do it every single day, and this method has enabled me to do it every single day. In fact, I'm going to briefly check off on my side monitor to tell you how many journal entries I have overall. I have journaled for 232 entries, so more than half a year. I haven't journaled every single day, but almost every single day. There's a day here and there that I've missed for a variety of reasons, but on the whole, I've managed to keep up with this. And the reason I've managed to keep up with this is because I do a simple voice journal entry into my phone as I'm driving home from the gym. I go every single day, I'm in the car, and I've now built the habit in my head that when I get into the car to drive home from the gym, the recorder goes on, and that 10-minute drive is when I do my journaling. I've done it every single day. So if you take nothing else away from this, identify a time in your day that is consistent that you do every day and that you have the ability to do a voice entry. If you can find those, you can journal every single day. It really has transformed quite a lot for me, both from a therapy standpoint to being able to remember what I did and who I met and who I talked with and how my days went. There's a lot of benefits to journaling daily, and this is the way. Now, over my 1.0 method, we're actually going to use a lot of Notion's built-in features. This video is by no means sponsored by Notion, but I am going to strongly suggest that you consider a paid Notion plan for this method. I pay for Notion. I am in love with it. The features in this tool for the price that they charge are insane. I'll put a screenshot behind me of what's included in the various plans, but I strongly encourage you to consider the plan with AI because the AI features in Notion, man, have they made some impressive things. I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to tour what I'm calling Smart Journal, and I'm going to show you the agent feature where it's going to be able to do a series of things back to back to back, and it's really impressive. I think you're going to be blown away. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with affiliate links and how those work. I am a Notion affiliate, meaning if you subscribe to Notion via my link, I get a small commission. It doesn't cost you any extra, and I would greatly appreciate it if you considered that. So I'm going to put that on the screen. You can go to queerefficiency.com/Notion, and that will redirect you back to Notion. If you don't already have an account, or if you do and want to sign up for a paid plan, please use my link. I would greatly appreciate it because then I get a small kickback and it helps me keep making videos for you. So go to queerefficiency.com/Notion and you can help support the channel that way. Okay, so as I said, my method is to record my journal entries every day, and those transcripts wind up in Notion. Now, this is one of the areas I strongly recommend that you have a paid Notion plan because we're going to use Notion's AI meetings block as the recorder because it records and transcribes and actually generates a quick summary all on its own, and it's all baked into Notion. And I've set the template up so that when you create a new entry, that'll just be there for you and you can just open it on your phone and hit start transcribing and do your entry. You don't have to use any other software. You don't have to go anywhere else. So now I want to talk really briefly about the format. You know the method. It's find a time in your day, do a recording, and talk, right? But I have a pretty specific format that I follow every day that I find to be very, very handy. So let's scroll down here. I've listed this on the page so it's ready for you. I'm going to zoom it in. And so Notion's going to look a little silly for a minute, but I just wanted you to be able to see it. So here's my format. This is what I do every single day. The first thing that I do when I start my recording is I just start talking about what happened the previous day. That allows you to capture the highlight details of what's going on in your life, and it helps you remember things when you need to. Where was I? What did I do? Who did I meet? Who did I talk to? How did my day go? All sorts of things like that. That combined with Notion's AI features really make a difference. I can't tell you how many times I've managed to reference old things or figure things out because I had 200 and some odd journal entries that I could go back to and ask Notion for help or information about what I did. So that's the first thing. The next thing that I do is I give my day a score. I like having the qualitative part of it, but I also like having the quantitative part so I can see a score and see a trend line for my overall mood. And if things are relatively stable, that's a good sign. And so that's nice to have. I'm now thinking about it, and I don't quite have that here. So you know what? That's something I'll add to this video I wasn't planning to do. We'll build that graph really quickly so you can see what that looks like. So I give it a score, 1 to 10. Next, I call out any medical health issues. Anything that's changed with my health physically, I call that out so that I have a record. So if I started a new supplement, for instance, and then down the line, some new symptom arose that I was having, some new physical symptom, I would be able to say, okay, today I'm having this weird tingling in my hand or whatever. I could figure out when that started in relation to when I started my supplement. So I can query my journal using AI to figure out exactly when I started that supplement or that medication, or if I changed my diet, or if there's any symptoms that arose. I'm able to track. Let's say I have a weird sore throat as an example, and it started today and there's nothing, it's a little weird. And I say that to my journal just kind of as a throwaway. Then 2 weeks later, I still have this weird sore throat and it hasn't gone away. That might be useful information to be able to pinpoint when that sore throat started or whatever symptom. There's a pain in my shoulder, anything like that. If you can pinpoint those things, you can give much more reliable information to your doctor. So I strongly recommend that you capture any changes to your physical health in your journal entry. So recap the previous day, give the day a score, and then call out any changes to your physical health so that there's a record that you can refer back to and get to with AI. The final thing is just transition for however long you want into whatever else is on your mind. And there are times, I got to tell you, when there are things going on, I actually really look forward to recording my journal entries because it's sort of like a pseudo therapy session, right? I can sit, I can talk to something that's non-judgmental, that I can plan ideas out. Sometimes I talk about work things. Sometimes I talk about queer efficiency things. Sometimes I talk about friends and family or, emotional things. Whatever is on my mind, whatever I'm feeling in that moment, that's what I talk about. And giving me that outlet, and I have it every single day. And the beauty of this method as well, I can have it as many times a day as I want. So if I have something come up and I'm really frustrated, I've had that grinder date pissed me off or something, and I just needed to scream at something for a second. I started a new recording and I created a new entry and started the recording and just yelled at the thing. So that way I had an outlet for how I was feeling in that moment. And then there's a record so I can go back to see what happened. Okay, that's the format. Very straightforward. Recap, score, physical health issues, and then talk about whatever's on your mind. That's it. All that you then have to do is make sure that those end up in a new entry. And I have this set up. Now, I will say the stuff you're seeing on the screen, this is all AI generated. I don't have my live journal in here. I had AI set this up. So everything here is completely fake. So you can see here, I've got the entry. It's got a score AI property and a summary AI property. So these have AI autofills in them, and they have a prompt that says, in this entry, extract the final score I gave for the overall day. Insert it as a number, insert nothing other than a single number. If I gave a range, take the average. If the entry is empty or if I don't mention a score, insert a 0. Scores will be given on a 1 to 7 scale. I actually changed this, so I'm going to update that. We'll say 1 to 10 for you because I'm going to adjust my method. I was doing 1 to 7, but I kind of want a little bit more granularity without having to use decimal points. But that's what I've been doing so far. So that's what that says. I'm going to save that. And then this prompt generates a summary of the entry itself. And you could read through this whole thing. We don't have to go through every single thing, but basically it generates a 3-bullet summary of the entry. So that's on this main database. And then there's also a second database. This is not a view of the entries database. This is a completely separate yet related database that I called sessions, and it's empty. You're going to see what's going to happen when we do this in a second. So now I have these entries. It's pulling out my scores. It's pulling out my summaries. So before we get to the AI part, which is the most powerful part about this, let's quickly set up that chart view as I mentioned. Now, there are 2 properties that are hiding that you can't see in this view right now. The first is one I called score num, and the other one is the created time. So let's just turn those on so you can see them. This one is one called score num. So to use this AI property, you can see this is a formula type property. This looks like a number property, but it's actually just text. And I needed to make it text so that I could use the AI autofill to extract the score. This very simply just converts whatever number is there to a number. So you're actually getting a number property. That's important because when we go to create the chart, it needs a number to work from. So let's do that. Let's add a new view. We're going to create a chart and we're going to create it from the entries database. And then, as I've mentioned in previous videos, it's helpful to have in your mind an image of what you want to create. So we want a line chart that goes left to right. And the numbers are on the vertical axis, the y-axis. That's your numbers from 0 to 10. So that your line can do this up and downy thing. Along the x-axis is all of the entries, right? So each day, that's where the date property comes in handy. So what we're going to show is we'll show the entry. So we want to show it as a line, which is exactly what it's doing. And then it's showing score num, which is exactly what we want. We just want to see the values. And that's the chart. It's very straightforward. We can see the points over time and we can see how we're feeling. And the longer you go, the more robust that's going to be. So let me quickly show you what my live journal looks like. This is my overall score. Now, I currently track things out of 7 instead of out of 10. I'm going to probably modify, but that's what I've been doing so far. So that's why I got a lot of like 5.5, that kind of thing. It's basically the same thing. It just uses decimals. And you can see that overall, my mood is relatively stable with a couple dips here and there and a couple spikes here and there. So I think that's pretty cool. And I also have a weekly view that aggregates things to show more of a curve over time. That is possible in this chart view. So I'm going to hide these again because we don't need to see them. And those extract automatically. I think that's really cool that the number populates automatically. And as I do my voice journal entry, this will automatically update over time. And so once your entry is done, the score will reflect and it will change itself. And the summary will do the same. So let's quickly go into this new entry and you'll see that there is a meeting block on here. This is an AI meeting notes block. And all you have to do is open this on your phone. You could do it on a computer too, and just hit start transcribing. Now, my video is currently listening. I don't know what it's going to do if I hit this. We'll just see. But when I hit start transcribing, my microphone's being used. So, it's picking it up. You can see right here that the waveform is capturing what I'm talking about. And if I go to transcript, it should be transcribing right along with me. And if I give yesterday a score of 6, then overall that score should pop in when the AI updates, and it should take a second. And also, it will update the summary as well as I go. Now, there's something else quickly. I can keep talking and let it keep recording, but I realized I don't need to show this here, so we're going to turn this off. I'm going to always hide that. And the created time, probably don't need that because it's going to just reflect the title here. By the way, the title of the entry is set to just pop in with the same time and date as when you created it. So those properties should reflect the same. All right, I'm going to stop recording, and you'll see that as I stop, it's actually going to generate its own internal summary. It's going to say thinking, it's going to generate this here, blah, blah, blah. And then this updates on its own. It will update on its own, these properties up here, but you can tell it to do it manually. You see, there it goes. It gives me all of this data here, and then we'll hit update, and it should pop in with 6, which is exactly what it did. And then this will create the summary exactly as we want. That will happen automatically as long as you have auto update on page edit turned on, which they're on by default. So that's how the entry works. It's really easy. It's really crazy. You just create a new entry, just click new because I have the template set as the default. You just click new, add a new entry and hit start transcribing and it will just go. It's really cool. Now, this is my favorite part. I want to walk you through this page here because I have an AI prompt set up for you that with one little command, it will do a whole bunch of stuff for you. So let's take a look at that. Let's open this up and it's pretty long, right? This is a pretty robust AI prompt. I've set this up. I use it myself. It works. And it uses Notion's AI agent's ability, which is new, to be able to do stuff. So really quickly, let's just take a brief interlude and talk about an AI agent. So typically you have just an AI prompt and you can tell your AI to do something like summarize this text or translate this sentence or do these simple, but like specific one-off commands that it can do. They can be long, but it's usually just one action versus an agent, which can go through multiple steps to execute multiple actions back to back to back. Let's look at the prompt and see what it does. So I use the craft, C-R-A-F-T format for my AI prompts. So context here, you're helping a client prepare for a therapy session. The client has shared sources that reflect their current thought, feeling, experiences. The goal is to create a clear, simple document that prioritizes key issues. Cool. The role, you're experienced therapist. That's basically what that says. So here's where the actions happen. And this is actions plural, back to back. First thing this is going to do, review the text of the entries database over the last 21 days. The reason I do that, you can change that number to however many you want. The reason I do 21 days is because I have therapy every 2 weeks. And so I like to have the full last 2 weeks of my journal entries. And then I like to have the previous week or so before that so that I have context going in and there's some overlap. So I do 21 days. Ensure that you review all of them. Then create a new page in the sessions database. So let's quickly go back. I'm going to open this as a new tab so I can flip back and forth more easily. So remember, we have the sessions database and this is empty right now. All that's here is session and created time. Those are the only properties. This is why I didn't want to build this for you because it's so simple. But what it will do, create a new page in the sessions database. Use the default page template. Give the page the current date as the name, formatted as this. Then within that page, do the following. And it's actually going to generate the content. It's going to create the page and then generate the content, which is create a chronologically sorted list of entries that you reviewed. Pull in the summary field. Don't generate your own, simply copy the text in the summary field. So it's going to pull this in. Also include the score. It's going to pull that in as well. Reference the format below. We'll come back to that in a second. Then link each title to its corresponding page. The next step, generate a cast of characters where you list the individuals that I reference throughout my entries. So it'll actually pull in all the people that you've talked about in your last entries by name and give you a little blurb about them. Then extract key emotional, behavioral, or cognitive themes from the entries. And finally, generate a list of potential topics for a therapy session. Sort them in order from highest priority to lowest priority. If your mind is not blown right now, it's going to be when I execute this because it's insane that it can do all of that back to back. This is the format you're going to get out of it. Therapy topics, and it will go like that. Cast of characters with the description. The journal entries summarized together back to back with those scores and summaries in the same page. And then the last bit says the target audience. This is for use by a client during a therapy session. The document should be clear, emotionally attuned, and easy to follow during a live appointment. It's batshit. Absolutely batshit. I ran this the first time when Notion announced the agents feature, and I think I lost my mind. It made the journal irrelevant because I didn't have a mind anymore. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So let's do it. I'm going to show you how to do it, which is insane. Notion has this new little thingy over here, and it has an AI window. This is what I'm talking about with Notion's powerful AI features. You can query things with the current page referenced. It can pull information in. Before we execute the big thing, let's just as a quick example, I'm gonna open this entry and say that this was a month ago or whatever. Okay, it's talking about the chores that I did right here. I talked about it. This is, again, AI generated, but this is like the entry I showed you where you're talking to your journal and it's got stuff. So now I'm gonna say to this AI right here, this is a quick prompt. I talked about doing some chores on September 26th, 2025. Summarize what they were. And it's going to run. And this does take a second because it's doing quite a lot. But now it's going to go in and you'll be able to watch it go step by step, searching for those entries. And it gave me a response. Now, I could ask it to be more specific. Can you be more specific about the actual tasks I did? It's looking at the actual pages. It did that correctly. It actually linked to the page itself. And there it goes. Clean stale mugs, reviewed a lingering note, cut fruit, blah, blah, blah. And it pulled all that stuff out. If you can't remember something from around when, you can say, at the beginning of August, I did this thing. Can you tell me when? Or I met a new person and it was the end of September. Can you give me an idea of who or list all the people so that I can find it? You can prompt it with stuff like this and it can reference your real live entries. Got real excited. Reference your real live entries. It's so fucking powerful. I can't even tell you. All right, so now we're going to do the big thing. We're going to run these steps. So let's come here. We're going to say execute the steps in and then tag that page. Probably don't even have to do that. Probably could just tag the page and it would know what to do. Enter. We're going to let it run. I'm going to speed this up and then I'll come back once it's done. Okay, I realized a tiny problem. All my entries were created before the last 21 days. So the AI is like, I don't know what you want me to do about this. Let's very quickly say I'm just gonna bump it up to 41 days temporarily. I'm gonna run it again because it was very confused. So let's just start a new chat. I updated that prompt and we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, there it goes. Let's go into the sessions entry. This is the one that messed up. I'm sure it'll be empty. Yep, okay. So the AI did what I told it. Now let's take a look at this one. Oh my goodness, look at what it did. It is so insane that it's able to do this, right? It was AI generated, so it didn't have any specifics in the cast of characters, but look at what it did. It gave me these topics. It told me when I referenced them. All of my journal entries, they're linked. I can get to them. This is insane. It's so insane. I've done this for my real therapy sessions, and it just blows my mind because I can not know what I'm going to talk about before the session and run this on my journal and have a list of things to take to my therapist for the day. My therapist is very excited about this, I have to tell you. So if this looks kind of crazy to you and you think it's amazing, you're not alone because it still blows my mind every single time I run it. And I very much hope that you enjoy using this because I think it's really, really cool. I mentioned in the intro, just quickly before I end the video, about something really stupid that I use this for. Definitely have met up with guys from Grindr, and one of them messaged me and I completely forgot about him. I had no memory of this man whatsoever. And he's texting me and I was trying to remember, and I got him to I was like, oh, when did we hang out? And I felt really bad that I'd forgotten all about him, completely forgot. And I got him to tell me when. I was able to go quickly to Notion, be like, I hung out with a guy around this date. Can you tell me who it was? Gave me his name, gave me a summary, and reminded me of what we did. And I was able to be like, oh, that's right, you're Jason. And he was like, yeah, you're right. Never mind. I don't feel bad about forgetting who you were. It was really stupid, but it was helpful, I gotta tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It could be useful for things like that too. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this journaling method. If you want to grab this template, you can get the template by going to queerefficiency.com/journal. And as I mentioned, the AI feature in particular, both the agent part and the AI meetings part require a paid Notion plan. You can use it as a trial, but I'm telling you, paid Notion plan, this is the best tool I've ever purchased. I can't say enough about it. So if you are interested in signing up for Notion, go to queerefficiency.com/Notion. Again, it's affiliate link. You won't be charged a penny extra, but it gives me a tiny kickback and it helps me keep this channel going for you. So I really hope that this journaling method helps you. If it did, if you find it interesting, if you have any thoughts on it, please drop them down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if this method clicked and you want to learn more about automations in general within Notion, I've got a video on that. It's at the tail end of my Notion for Beginners series. And I cover how to build one-click buttons, how to connect relations and roll-ups, and how to make updates happen automatically. So if you're interested in learning any more about Notion automations, I encourage you to head over to that video, which is on your screen right now. Looking forward to talking to you there.